I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I can go ahead and start by asking for approval of this morning's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes dated May 4th, 2022.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next, I can ask for approval of the claims for payment dated May 11th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Taylor, I'll let you come up and explain the consideration of the amendment to utility permit UT 22-002 from Heart of Iowa Communications.
Sure. So you guys approved the original utility permit on March 18th. And since Heart of Iowa's been up there, they've had a few additional customers request to extend the line. So I attached the map for you. Essentially, they're going about a mile, half a mile north of where they had planned on going. So they're getting a few customers on 130th, as well as one customer just north of that on S56. So we looked at it, thought it seemed fine to us. So my recommendation is to let them just amend that original permit.
I'll make a motion to amend the utility permit UT 22-002 for Heart of Iowa Communications as described.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Do you need me to sign the amendment form or?
I don't think so. I think as
No.
long as you've done
Okay,
that.
perfect.
Okay.
All right, next item I have is a change of status in the secondary roads department,
We have another.
or the other IRUA utility permit UT 22-008.
I'll make that motion to approve the Iowa Regional Utilities Association utility permit UT 22-008.
I'll second that. Any discussion, Taylor? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Here you go, Taylor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next item I have is the change of status for Blaine Bader, a resignation, motor grader operator, effective May 5th, 2021 at the rate of $21.50 an hour.
I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next item I have is the discussion of the open enrollment period for Ighcp insurance. So we just need to approve the open enrollment, and Becca Junker is here to discuss any questions or answer any questions that we have regarding the open enrollment for the fiscal year 22-23 enrollment period.
So she had a couple questions. One was the mandatory, is this going to be mandatory for every employee? There are a couple changes in here, so it probably should be mandatory. And the other one is, do the employees need to sign the tobacco form each year or this year as we do every year, or is one signature good until a change is made?
Okay.
Now, the open enrollment would be May 23rd, 2022. She has a schedule already printed out for everybody, if so approved. So what's your opinion on the open enrollment part? Mandatory?
Yeah, because we do have some changing of insurance carriers, and I want to make sure everybody is included and has the ability and opportunity to enroll. I know there is a provision in here that that Denise Ballard will make sure that there's a recording of an enrollment speech, introduction. So anybody that's unable to attend the enrollment, that'll be archived. And I know that Denise and Cindy have been no problems working with when it comes to, working with our schedules. This is their forte for sure. So I do believe that it needs to be a mandatory thing this year to make sure that everybody has an equitable chance of enrolling for all the benefits that they're entitled to through their work for the county. On the tobacco form, I think that we can have them do once, but to understand that if something changes, they have 30 days to report those changes. So to Becca in writing, so those changes can be made to their premiums.
So they don't have to sign this year is what you're saying, if they've
If they've already
signed
signed it, I'm fine with that as long as everybody understands, and maybe we reinforce that at the enrollment that those changes, if something changes, you have 30 days to notify Becca or the designated official in the auditor's office that that change has occurred, just like they would if they, had added a family member to the policy or a family member came off.
So on the open enrollment, one of the big reasons for the mandatory is long-term and short-term disability have been added. Short-term is 100% at the employee's cost, correct?
Correct.
Long-term is being picked up by the county.
Correct.
And it's being picked up by the county. Our insurance rates were not as high as we had budgeted for, not even close to that.
Right.
And long-term disability would help those families in these
Right.
cases.
Especially with any chronic illness. I think we've done well with our wellness plan, and people have just managed their healthcare better. We've also opened up the telehealth that has reduced those ER trips and primary health trips that on a weekend you can do the doctors on demand and save yourself a couple $100 ER copay that also goes against the county's plan. So I think there's been a lot of increased responsible behavior from the employees and those on our coverage. And so if we can use the long-term and short-term disability as a positive recruitment and retention tool for Hardin County employees, I think it's a strong positive on our part.
With that, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the insurance open enrollment for fiscal year 22-23, being May 23rd, 2022, with those two caveats.
Okay, I'll second that. Becca, do you need any additional clarification from us on this?
Nope, I'll send out emails to all employees.
Okay,
So, yep.
all right, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Angela, you're up to bat.
Bigger than I thought. So you guys have my monthly report.
We do.
Do you guys have questions on it?
I think it's important that we make sure that there are development opportunities. And I think we need to reiterate development opportunities. There's potential for non-disclosure agreements. There's confidentiality and things. And so not everything that's in the works can be made public.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I'll tell the public, there are some great things on the horizon for Hardin County. But right now, the shifting of jobs from business to business, it's making rural economic development tough. Because I really appreciate what is going on throughout the county and throughout, rural Iowa. But if you take 10 employees from that are going to work at a new business, you're stealing 10 employees from, whether it's Co-Stop in Radcliffe for one, two at Dale Howard,
Yeah.
3 from Dollar General. So we're really shifting people around. The workforce isn't increasing on a daily basis. And so I think, I don't want to steal your thunder, but
No, it's okay.
but it's just one of those things where I think the public needs to understand that people are shifting even completely different trades, where Sheriff McDaniel has people that I see working in the private sector now, or there's people that Sheriff McDaniel's lost. I unfortunately got to see Mitch Capel working an accident the other day. So people are moving to find happiness and peace within their lives, and finding something that may be more financially significant, maybe different hours, less stress. So those things, I think people need to remember that those things are in the works. But if you have any specifics on projects you can share today, Angela,
Yeah.
fire away.
Well, and that's one thing that we're working on with Mid-Iowa Growth Partnership. We're doing a regional talent attraction campaign, so the 8-county region, Justin knows all about this. But it's an 8-county region saying like, hey, these are the quality of life things we have here. Hey, this is the great schools we have here. Hey, this, that, and the other thing. And we're targeting it to like Minneapolis, we're targeting it to Sioux City, we're targeting it to all around, so we're not just stealing from each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, as far as the month of April, I basically taught 5th graders. So now every 5th grader in Hardin County knows how to run a business, and they're probably better than everyone else doing right now. Attended the Rural Summit. That was always exciting. It was exciting as it came, so I had to drive super far. I'll just touch on what projects I can touch on, or I'll touch on. So community development block grant, we still have some funds available in Ackley. It's a super concentrated area in Ackley, but there's definitely houses that could use the funds there. So we're gonna run that in the paper again. Hopefully get that closed out. The brownfields grant, we should know something here in the next 2 weeks, yay or nay. They've been calling and asking some pretty good questions on it, some pretty detailed questions, so I feel like that's a good sign. Downtown revitalization in Ackley, we do have one storefront that's going through and working on that grant to get funded. I'm pretty sure tonight is when we are going to accept the architectural bids for that, so that will be a big help moving forward. Project Tom, we're still just kind of hung up on getting land acquisition. My board feels that maybe it's kind of just a wait and see type thing right now, given that it's an election year and given that the current owner has a lot of things going on. So we might just pump the brakes on that for a couple months, let that happen. Project Green, we're still moving forward pretty quick there. We have a lot of people who have signed land acquisitions. And it feels like that's gonna move forward quicker than anything else. CBN, still chatting with a couple of companies that were up there. A couple of them are gonna come down here towards the end of the summer and look at what buildings we have available. Other than that, my board and I are gonna start tackling our housing issues.
Okay, that was one of
That's on,
my big
that's on
questions.
Monday.
Yeah, I met with a prospective business on Monday, and the big thing is they're looking at developing, and they employ at their sites about 10 people,
Mhm.
and they're good paying jobs, but right now the lack of housing is just keeping them. And
Yeah, and that's nationwide,
And so-
Iowa-wide, yeah.
one of the things that I would like to look at is how we can work with a local developer. I think if we get some houses built,
Mhm.
and get creative on the funding and financing for those,
Yeah.
to get, people in Hardin County.
Yeah,
And the one thing that I spoke with Mark Bushcamp about a week or two ago was a matter of, there are empty lots throughout Hardin County, but unfortunately, some of the lots are sandwiched between two dilapidated properties
Exactly.
that make it undesirable to build a $200,000, $300,000 home in order to fill that lot.
yeah.
So it's going to take,
Yeah, well, a lot of our
village
cities are more than willing to like donate that for someone to build, but then of course, the dilapidated housing issues, so we need to take care of that, and then, oh, there's 2 more houses, so
Right,
it's just
it's a
a
continuing,
never ending cycle.
right?
And then there's the community utilities out there. The board in Ackley, we're working on a potential housing project there, but again, it's a whole city block that you
Right.
have to handle right at the same
And-
time.
Yeah, and the other thing that I in the discussion with Mark was that I believe Hardin County can consider some upper $300,000, $400,000 homes,
Oh, absolutely.
because there are people that their families are growing, their incomes have grown, they've,
Well, you need those upper,
professionally
those next
grown,
step houses.
yeah, so those next step houses will leave some of the entry-level houses available.
Absolutely.
So giving a builder the incentive to build a $300,000 or $400,000 home, I don't think it's a big risk right now for the right community, so. And the other thing is you are available by phone, and you're available by email, so if anybody has any questions, please get a hold of Angela, and she'll accommodate you. Lance, anything else?
Covered a lot of it. Yeah, we need industrial areas to build on as well. But without the homes for people to move into, it's,
Yeah, it's the chicken or the egg, you know, do we start building the houses, do we start building, you know, it's just. And we're not the only people having that question.
Right.
every county's in this issue.
Well, and as
Rural
I
counties.
talked to the business owner on Monday, we discussed if you name the town in Hardin County could get a business that employed 200 people, would we be able to find the workforce? Number one, where would they live? Number two, and would the current infrastructure even keep up with that in some communities? So those are all things that I know we're exploring. And so that's why I like these businesses that are wanting to employ 5, 10, 15,
Yeah.
20 people at the most. And this business owner, he's very strong at recruiting people from outside the state. I talked to some of his employees at one of his current locations at California, Colorado, Minnesota. And so when you can get people in their early 20s, even late teens to come to rural Iowa, you're gonna pull with them probably a future. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do quality over quantity, which. is no problem there.
all right, thank you, Angela.
Mhm.
Justin. Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So I'm Justin Piperlick with the Small Business Development Center for the North Central Iowa Region, Regional Director there, so I'm housed out of Fort Dodge. Thank you, first of all, for what you guys do. You guys have contributed funds to us on an annual basis of about 2,500 each year. I'd love to double that. But we appreciate that continued support if you can, and we'll work through that after today. It's been great to work with Angela and the Mid-Iowa Growth Partners. We have representation in all 99 counties throughout Iowa. There are 15 different regions. And I have one of the largest ones with 13 counties. So I go all the way down from Stewart, Iowa on Interstate 80 up to Storm Lake and over to Iowa Falls. So it's quite a lot of travel and on the road quite a bit, but I started in mid-January. I've been to Iowa Falls, I think 4 times, Iowa Falls, Hardin County, about 4 times this year already. So we have 7 very active clients in Hardin County right now. Over the past year, we've counseled over 259 clients, started 12 new businesses, about $8 million in sales increase, over 100 new jobs, 900 jobs supported, and a $6 million capital infusion for our area. So there's really good stats and milestones. Everything we provide to our clients is free and confidential. And the only thing we ask they do a survey for us on our client satisfaction or the impact on those milestones that we've met. So are you familiar with the SBDC? Do I need to go through anything? You guys are all good with it. So, we have businesses, every from just an idea and trying to narrow that down. We had one lady that had like 20 different ideas she wanted to do. So hope we kind of figure that out. Business starts to expansion, growth, to buying or selling a business. And what I found amazing so far in my short time is the buying and selling of businesses is really popular right now. The problems you guys are having with housing and workforce is all around in every one of my counties that I work with. And even Fort Dodge, I think we only have 26 houses on the market right now. It's incredible, which is really, really low. We used to have 250 or 300 on the market. So know that it's pretty similar for everybody around. Do you guys have any questions for me at all?
Somebody wants to get a hold of you?
Yep.
Go through Angela, go direct to
Either
you.
way is fine. We get a lot of referrals from lenders and from economic developers, and they send them to our way. We can help them with RLF, revolving loan fund applications, and then working with the lender. We do everything from their business plan to the financial projections. We have a website. I can leave some of my cards with you. Go on iowasbdc.org.
Do you come to them or do they come to you?
Either way, we can do email, Zoom, telephone. I can come here. They can come see me. We can meet somewhere in the middle. We've done all of that with Hardin County so far.
I have one question. If you could highlight one incentive right now for people to grow or start new business, what's out there for somebody an entrepreneur that's looking to start a business or maybe diversify?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity now in what I would call rural technology. There's a lot of different programs, and Hardin County is a great example of where that can happen. We have the Rural Business Innovators Program throughout our region, and I think last year we did 11 of those kind of businesses. And so very popular, and that makes things really easy for, you know, an entrepreneur, and a lot of opportunity for them. The revolving loan funds targeted small businesses for women's owned, minority owned, and veterans is an incredible program with $50,000 of funding with 5-year terms and 3% interest rate.
Wow.
So those are great opportunities for the women, minority, and veterans.
Excellent.
What's one of the most common things that people fail by not utilizing you that you probably could have helped?
Great question. Cash flow is probably the number one. Working through their expenses and where the benchmarks are for around the state. We can do a lot of market research is something we really do, and demand outlook and retail outlook. And we can benchmark what they're spending on their different categories.
Mhm.
And if they're out of whack, we can kind of help them get back into shape. We've worked with, in Webster County, they had some COVID grants that went out to businesses. We're on our second round right now. And part of them are receiving those funds. Before they receive the funds, they have to come to SBDC for counseling. And the county, we're working hand in hand with them. We're on the second round of that. And so 50% of those people are still working with us today in the first round. So it's an incredible number of those folks need the help. And COVID was a tough one, of course, on the businesses.
Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good to meet you, Justin.
Yes, you do.
Gordy's got, I'm gonna submit the invoice for their funding today. Do you
Okay.
guys have a number you want submitted, or should I just do what I have?
She has both the 5,000 and the 2,500 invoices. But we love spending the time here. What it helps us cover our costs and travel and expenses, what it does. So it really helps our programs and expenses when we're coming in.
It helps them stay free, basically.
Do you know what was budgeted?
No, that was gonna be my
We just
question.
pulled out of the lost funds, so it's
Okay.
just whatever you guys.
Um,
I know when Cindy was here, we did 5,000 once. Since I've been here for 10.
Let's put it on the agenda for next week when Renee's here, and we can talk about it as a agenda and action item. Okay,
And I'm meeting later this morning with the IFADC
okay,
as well.
all right, perfect.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
time.
Yep. All right, other business. Taylor.
Just some project updates. The bridge south of New Providence is supposed to be painted today, so should be. I'm not gonna promise that it'll be open, but we're getting very close on that, so that'll be nice to have that done.
Okay.
And the trail's humming right along. It might be done sooner than we expected, which is also odd in construction. You'll notice they're starting to come into town now where they're working the dirt.
Right,
They're right behind my office right now doing that. And then, yeah, I mean, they're paving, they're just, a mile or so north of Eldora right now. They're coming right along, can't complain. So things
Perfect.
are looking good.
thank you, Taylor.
Just so we're clear, that's not an engineer's project, that's just an update on the trail.
Correct, yes,
Yeah.
we are just doing the inspection for the trail. It is not county funded at all. It has all been donation based. Yep,
Or grants.
we are simply, as the county, helping them with the inspection, which is saving them a big amount of their costs, so. Yep, and it hasn't been too much extra work for us. It's been fine.
And rock hauling, brush cutting,
Over
all the
time.
time.
Yep.
Brush cutting really is making a considerable difference. I mean,
Yeah, you can see it out
Yeah.
there. I mean, having the second person, it's helped a lot more than I really thought it was gonna, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So thank you
Yep.
for letting us have the second person.
yep, I think the process and efficiency is definitely noticeable. So thank
Mhm.
you.
We got two good guys right now. I
You
have
got a lot-
zero complaints.
Yeah, you got a
Zero.
lot of good guys.
Yep.
So, all right, thanks, Taylor. Jolene,
Just that the primary is coming up in June and we're still looking for poll workers.
okay. Early voting in person begins next Wednesday. Is that correct? The 18th?
Yes.
Okay. You can request an absentee ballot until close of business on the 23rd. So please do that.
And you can vote absentee in the courthouse,
Correct.
What areas are you looking for poll workers in?
all of them pretty much.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is a lot of people, it's a very, very long day, to run the whole entire shift because they have to be there at 6 a.m. and then they're there till after 8 when all the results are, given to the runners and everything's closed up. So a lot of people are requesting half shifts, which is great if we have the numbers.
Okay.
So
And it pays,
it pays, is it 10 for poll workers and 11 for chairs?
Okay.
So they do get compensated.
Okay.
we have things out on Facebook,
And if they want to do that, contact you directly or
I or Tanner.
Tanner. Okay,
And some people have, where they work, they have like a community service day that they can take.
sure.
And so we have had in the past where they take that community service day and then work as a poll worker.
And the age required, you have to be 18, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a high school junior that's 18 that needed silver cord hours, something like
They
that.
can, yeah,
So
they can. We just need to, you know,
make sure that meshes with the skill
Right.
set and the
Right.
time commitment.
and
Okay,
then there's training ahead of time.
right. Okay,
For some seniors that are graduating that need something to do for a little while.
see how the sausage is made for a day. Okay, Daryl. Okay, all right, Sheriff McDaniel, nothing? All right, Lance?
Nope.
All right. With that, I can ask for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're adjourned.